What's good, fam? Y'all better buckle up, because today I got new info on Drake that changes everything. We just found out how wild his lawsuit game really is, and straight up is making his whole image look even softer than we thought. I'm talking about some moves that had his own label head call him out, and the truth behind his record deal is so trash you'll never look at Aubrey the same again. And just wait, we got receipts on how Kendrick Lamar and the whole industry exposed him in ways dude really trying to hide. So if you think you already know the real behind Drake's meltdown, trust you don't. Keep locking in, because I'm telling you, the ills get worse every time you blink. Let's slide right into it. Drake ain't just trying to battle rappers with weak subs. No, this man out here suing his own label, Universal Music Group, and even iHeartMedia, all because they supposedly let Kendrick's diss, Not Like Us, get too much shine. Imagine that. Drake, the self-proclaimed certified lover boy, out here acting like a victim on some Karen-level entitlement, thinking the entire industry set him up. Bro really filed a defamation lawsuit, claiming that UMG was out to destroy his brand and reputation, as if they ain't made him a star in the first place. Ain't nobody buying that victim narrative, especially after the receipts his own bosses dropped. Keep listening, because the head of UMG didn't just clap back. He basically said Drake got no say over his own music. But look, before we even get to the label drama, let's talk about what set this off. The Kendrick beef. Drake been weak on defense, throwing disses, ducking real bars, but somehow still ended up catching direct strays from Kendrick at every corner. You remember that Super Bowl line halftime? The whole world locked in while Kendrick shut it down, performing Not Like Us right in Drake's face, making that ill global. The disrespect ain't stopped there. Folks in Toronto, Drake's own backyard, were out here chanting for Kendrick after his show, right after Not Like Us dropped. Pure embarrassment. Drake tried to flex like he's some unstoppable Canadian force, but his own city showing more love to the dude who bodybagged him. That's a generational ill, no cap. Now let's look at how Dreezy tried responding to all the hate. You're not gonna believe this. Instead of coming back with fire, he started rocking this loud, bedazzled jacket at his cologne show, thinking he could shift the narrative. Hoodie had wild graphics and even wilder words stitched on it. Drake basically tried saying, "You have no idea how furious the Canadians are, and without them, what friends do we have left?" Like, bro, what? Now he's spinning some made-up beef with the whole of America, acting like all the US rappers teamed up to ruin him with the blessing of his own label. Just the softest move I've seen from a major artist. When you gotta use rhinestones to send sublims, that's how you know it's a rap. But it ain't just internet trolls roasting him. The head honcho himself, Lucian Grainge at UMG, put Drake right in his place, letting the whole world know what's really up. Lucian said, basically, Drake accused him of scheming to tank his brand by pushing Not Like Us. And Grainge laughed that shit off, cause, bro, it makes no sense. Universal been pumping hundreds of millions into Drake, even buying up most of his catalog and publishing, treating him like the industry's golden goose. Whatever flex Drake keeps rapping about, Lucian just snatched it away on a public stage, letting everybody know that Drake lost ownership of almost all his work. Man barely owns a sliver. And the rest, the hits, the classics, the whole Drizzy run, UMG owns that. Remember when Drake was talking like he got the LeBron Supermax of rap? Pure fantasy. It's more like the rookie contract plus G League minutes. And the clowning don't stop. Turns out, Drake didn't just lose his independence for a big payout. Dude got trapped in a classic, old school 360 deal. If you don't know, that means almost everything Drake does that touches music, the label snatches a big cut. Shows, merch, streams, doesn't matter. UMG eating first. The only reason he's doing all these weird rants on tour and showing up places acting pressed is because the label pushing him to keep making that bag. Not for his own pride, but so they can collect their percentage off top. That's why he out in Cologne doing the most. He not in charge. Bro's just another worker. And instead of owning up or switching the narrative with a hard-ass track or a message that means something, Drake pulls out arts and crafts and blames everybody else. Ain't no genius mastermind here. Just a dude with no control trying to distract fans from the fact that he sold out his catalog for a quick check. This is making Kendrick's words and all those diss tracks hit even harder. While Drake floating these numbers in his bars about 400 million, acting like he pulled off Jay-Z or Kanye type ownership. He's just capping for the crowd. At least them dudes own they masters. Let's compare just real quick. Jay-Z fought for his songs, bought them back, flipped the label, then did business on his terms. Kanye, no matter how messy, tried to break out too and made sure he could call the shots at least some point. Kendrick, whole different league. His Interscope and UMG deal been a license setup, not no forever contract. Since 2022, Kendrick owns everything he drops, including all the new heat like Not Like Us and Euphoria. Dude's reaping all the revenues from his biggest moments, festival sets, chart-topping hits, while Drake is stuck just playing along and cashing in the tiny piece he gets handed. Now the wild part is, while Drake got exposed for having no power over his music, he still want to throw tantrums like the entire universe on a mission to take him down. The industry plant talk ain't ever sounded truer. UMG and Lucian Grainge want Drake to keep pumping records, straight up because they got the most to gain. Dude's whole worth to them is just as an investment. Meanwhile, Kendrick running free, owning his bangers. Even J. Cole got more control over his catalog than Drake ever will. Drake can never sit at that table with the real GOATs, the business-wise legends. Instead, he's stuck crying, blaming conspiracies, and turning himself into a living meme. If you've been peeping the story so far, drop a like on this vid and hit that subscribe, y'all. For real, the way these industry secrets getting aired out, you do not want to miss the next chapters. Plus, you already know we dig deeper and keep it unfiltered in a way nobody else doing it. The second half of this video got even crazier receipts and is about to make you question everything Drake ever rapped about. Stay right here. The next part's coming up and it gets way messier. Trust me, it gets even wilder from here. Trust me. So while Drake out here acting like his label left him for dead, let's really break down what that means for his spot in the game and why he looking more like a corporate puppet than a rap icon. At this point, Drake basically lost every pass he had with the label bosses. Dude been on this Nobody Rides For Me victim tour, but all the power moves going straight to Universal Music Group while he do all the legwork and barely gets paid from it the way he should. Real ones know that if you don't own your catalog, you playing losing game, period. When Lucian Grainge from UMG spelled it out, he made it painfully clear. Drake can say whatever he wants about being set up, but at the end of the day, UMG holds almost all the keys. This label ain't dumb. They poured a mountain of cash into Drake so he keep working, but that money didn't come for free. They bought them ownership, not him. So when he makes all these big claims in his songs about being a boss, just know most of them bars are straight fantasy. Man can't even drop a track or a project without getting it cleared by 6 layers of label execs who treat his music like it's their property. That's not winning. That's being owned on another level. Drake signed up for it, probably thinking he could game the system, but the system played him plain and simple. Now compare that to Kendrick Lamar. My dude moved different from day one. Instead of locking himself in with a forever contract, he took those licensing deals, so he delivers an album, gets that major support, but he ain't just boosting the label's pockets for life. When the beef hit, Kendrick was in the best position possible, dropping joints like Not Like Us and Euphoria that he actually owns. Every stream, every sync, every time someone runs those songs up at a party or in a stadium, Kendrick's getting real direct payback. Meanwhile, Drake gotta watch his old label get fat off his own work. That's gotta sting harder than any diss line. And you already know, when fans picked up on all this, they didn't let Drake live it down. Even outside the music, his reputation just falling apart in public. After that Cologne show with the rhinestone jacket move, dude looked desperate. People online clowning, saying he turned into a walking arts and crafts project, looking for sympathy instead of coming with something solid. That's what happens when you let money blind you to the bigger picture, and when your whole persona's about power, but you got no real power to show for it. What's crazy is this isn't just Drake paying the price. His situation exposing a whole system, shining a light on how so many artists got trapped. But let's keep it real too. This ain't new. Way too many rappers out here talk like bosses, but barely anyone in the industry pulls a Jay-Z, fights for their rights, or flips the script so they running things themselves. Jay-Z had to put in grind to get his masters. He was doing deals for Rockefeller, making moves behind the scenes just to get what was his. That's alpha moves right there. Kanye went full rebel, wilding on the internet, but he let folks see how these deals work and why you need leverage. Drake, he sat comfy, thinking the label would always have his back. But the second he wasn't useful, they put the whole truth out and let him sink on his own. The L's keep stacking, and at this point, it's sad. That industry plant label, hard to ignore when you see how he got built up by bosses, only for them to publicly say, he ain't running nothing, we made him. And that's why his response to losing the beef with Kendrick was so weak. He couldn't go nuclear, couldn't take real shots, because his business partners controlling how loud his voice could get. Imagine being the highest streaming rapper alive, but you still gotta ask for permission to defend yourself on wax. Embarrassing for real, and don't think the fans missed it either. When those details about Drake's 360 deal dropped, real hip hop heads just shook their heads. Every tour, every single song, every t-shirt, the label getting their slice before Drake even sees what's left. That explains all those tired robotic performances on tour, the scripted talking points, and why he always sound like he got a boardroom watching him. Not a city. He not making moves for himself. He making money for the people who own his music, period. This also flips the whole narrative around ownership and respect among rappers. Kendricks and Jays of the world get talked about like bosses because they own what they built. Drake, for all the records, don't get that seat at the table. That's why hearing him beg for respect or act like a martyr just hit different now. The records don't matter much if you ain't got control. Real ones chase legacy, not just Billboard hits. And look at fan response out here. Once these contract details leaked, even his most loyal stans had to face facts. The Drake era been about playlists and viral hits, not legacy building, not leaving the game with real power. Every time he raps about riches and numbers, you gotta wonder, how much of that is really his Or is he just performing to keep the machine running while they stripping for parts? But let's just be fair and imagine, what if Drake did things different? If he played the long game instead of the quick bag game, focused on owning his music, using his leverage when he was hot to renegotiate a better split, he could have been the face of a new generation of artists breaking out of that old industry grip, standing side by side with real moguls. Instead, he kept pushing the company man brand, fronting for deals that left him richer maybe, but not richer in the ways that matter in music. He could have built something that lasted past the charts, but he fumbled that, and now that the curtain pulled back, everyone sees the cracks. And honestly, it's crazy to see Drake posting up wearing these jackets with wild slogans, like he's trying to distract us all from the truth. There's nothing artistic or revolutionary about rocking a bedazzled hoodie that says, "Canadians are furious," while your fans everywhere, even in your own city, screaming for the dudes who just washed you in a battle. It's a distraction move, pure and simple. If you a boss, you don't gotta announce it with rhinestones. You announce it by controlling your narrative, owning your music, building your empire, and leaving the label at your mercy, not the other way around. And yo, the record execs know that too. Universal set up Drake to keep making hits, but in the end, they're the real winners. Kendrick got freedom, Drake got locked in. Even J. Cole made moves to stack up control and legacy, dropping projects at his own pace, doing collabs he wanted, and running his own show. These are the blueprints. Drake followed the wrong map, and now he's stuck at a dead end while everyone else moving past him. That's why this story matter, fam. Not just cause it's Drake catching L's, because too many folks get caught up in the flash, not seeing how the game really works. You can't build real legacy if you never own your moment. At the end of the day, that's what separates the cultural legends from the temporary chart toppers. And trust, if you still thinking these labels got the artists back, look at Drake. That's all the warning you need. So now it's your turn. Do you think Drake can bounce back from this? Or is he forever locked as just another cautionary tale about the cost of selling out? Would you rather see artists take control of their music? Or is the quick bag always worth it, even if the legacy gone? Hit them comments, let's debate it. If you made it this far, you're a real one for sure. Make sure to smash that like, hit subscribe, and stay tapped in. Next video, I'm gonna break down how this mess is about to flip industry contracts for everybody and why the old way just ain't flying no more. Stay tuned, keep it real, and don't get caught in the hype, because we exposing everything one L at a time.